We have about 70 minutes or so, as we were allowed to stay a bit longer than the schedule. Before we start the panel discussion, as the stage is being prepared, please allow me to summarize the major topics that we can pick up. This is a timetable. I was trying to change the time. First, I will give you the summary of the topics. Then I'm going to ask Professor Liu to give comment to other speakers. He's going to have 10 minutes. And then I'm going to ask other panelists to reply to the comments given by Professor Liu. Then we are going to have Q&A with the audience on the floor starting at 5 o'clock. Then the concluding remark from each panelist and my summary. And we plan to end at 5:35.
まずですね、これまでの MOOC の語られ方は、私はゆう先生のすぐお隣にいてですね、いろいろ
I have been working with Professor Yoshi, and I know what's happening in reality. But the way MOOC has been described in official books is quite different from what's happening. Talking about edX and its impact on the future of university education. Because MOOC members are the eminent universities, and people tend to say that the MOOC or edX is going to cause winner takes all, or university would turn into global big businesses. And talking about the degree, 4 years has been a basic unit for Japanese universities. Usually, students stay in university for 4 years before getting a degree from a university. But today, we have more talk about the modularization. It might change how we are going to qualify the completion of studies of universities at the students at the university. And the education is being opened. And it's quite important to open the education to give more access to poor people who live far away. And those who are already working may not have time to come to a campus, but they can overcome the physical constraint by making things available via MOOC. And we see the changes of the meaning of studying on campus, face-to-face learning, or the encounter only available on campus because the physical encounter may happen by accident, and that itself may have some extra meaning. Now that I listen to 4 speakers, I feel as follows. The topics I described earlier suggest the shift of perspectives. In the past, we tended to MOOC from outside, but now people are starting to discuss MOOCs from inside because we now discuss how MOOC can change learning experience at a university and how MOOC can support learning experience. And what's being discussed is already based on what's really implemented in a real world. Now, some suggestion about the discussion. Professor Liu said that what is most essential in MOOC? What is something indispensable for MOOC? Professor Liu said that online would remain the most impactful aspect of MOOC. And as most of the speakers suggested, MOOC makes education available to everybody. But today, in this symposium, today's focus on MOOC is about how MOOC can change or transform learning experiences in your own university. And what Professor Liu mentioned was quite impressive. He said that the faculties may think about the essential aspect of learning experience in his or her own discipline? I think this question may be a classical question, and starting with that essential question, we have to think about what MOOC technology can do. So question does not start with the presence of MOOC and technology. It starts with the essential question about the important aspect of learning experience. And in order to satisfy the answers necessary for the essential question about learning, we are trying to think about what MOOC and technology can do. Next issue is how can we analyze and use data made available from MOOC? Professor Mino, although he did not have much time, but he talked about what Kyoto University is doing and planning to do about the data to be obtained. This is a question to Professor Liu. You talked a little about the edX, and you mainly focus on Hub edX. But thinking about the edX as a consortium, what is the meaning of establishing edX as consortium? Consortium means that you get data from different university, faculties from different university get together, think about how they can best utilize the data made available from the consortium. It's a kind of collaboration the researchers. So I want to know what kind of collaboration is ongoing about the use of the data made available from edX consortium. We heard a lot about Osaka University, about what Osaka University is doing. I think I could learn a lot about what Osaka University is doing. And the third aspect, and this is the major topics for today's symposium, with MOOC. What would be the changes brought about on FD, ED, and PD with MOOC? How can MOOC change FD, ED, PD? We have several suggestions. We need a community to make MOOC, create MOOC. Faculty, students, and specialists must get together in a collaboration for the production. So there has to be a community. And faculty, students, specialists must get together, but having them together is not sufficient. You need a coordinator. And in the case of Harvard, you have HarvardX and the Direct Center, and the Professor Liu is directing both of them. And we hope that we can emulate what you're doing at the Harvard University with the center under the leadership of Professor Iyoshi. So how can specialists help faculty students give concrete shapes to their ideas? And as Professor Yoshi is doing at Kyoto University, the experience of creating MOOC contents, how can that change the faculty and the students? Faculty development can be promoted by allowing faculty create MOOC contents. Today, we are talking about MOOC and the future of universities. And you might think that this link is something strange, but as we heard, for university to be recreated as core of knowledge network, MOOC is quite important. This was a strong statement made by Professor Liu, and this makes us quite excited about the possibility of MOOC. This is my summary, hoping that this serves as a basis. I'm not demanding you to follow all the topics I mentioned. You can speak more freely as you wish. So I think I tried to connect the major points made by 4 speakers. So using this timetable, as I managed to finish in 10 minutes, now first of all, I would like to ask Professor Liu to give comments to all other speakers. I would like to invite all the panelists onto the stage.